Okay, guys, next question I got here, which is also another good one, is how to act on set. And more specifically, how to behave as an actor on set. All right, this video is not about acting. It's not about acting technique. I'm not your acting coach, right? You should constantly be in classes and getting coaching in order to work on your acting abilities, your acting skills, your craft, your art, your technique. That is not this video. What I'm talking about is when you're on set, how do you behave? How do you act? What do you do? What do you not do? What are the do's and don'ts? So some do's and don'ts, some tips and tricks for how to behave on set, specifically as an actor. The first tip I want to give is one from personal experience. Is one of the stupidest things I've done on set. And this just comes from personal experience. And before I forget to share it with you, I just want to go ahead and get it out of the way. So tip number one, if you're talking with a crew member during the course of the day, do not complain to the crew member that you haven't had a nap. If they're nice, they will walk away from you and most likely not talk to you again. So that's just a little tip. I learned that the hard way. Conversely, what I really focus on is making everybody's job easier, okay? As a director, as a producer, you come to realize that managing morale on set is huge, and it can make or break a project. I've been on projects in which the morale was strong and healthy and positive the whole entire process. And those are some of the projects, whether it was a $50 million project or a $500 project. Those projects in which the morale was really high amongst everybody, crew and cast, above the line, below the line, when the morale was really high and positive and just flowing the whole time, are some of the most memorable times I've spent on set. And conversely, whenever the morale starts to go down, people start complaining, people start talking, and morale starts going down. Once that morale starts going down, as a producer or a director or an AD or anybody on set who takes it upon themselves to have some kind of influence over that morale and holding it, it is just a deep, fast dive down the abyss, and you can never get it back in the bag. So some of the most basic rules: know where to be and where not to be. Okay, when you're on set, now we're not talking about being in front of the camera when you're doing your blocking, final adjustments, last looks, or when you're actually acting in the scene. I mean, that's what we're there for. So when you're supposed to be in front of the camera, that's what it's all about, you know, and that's the one place where you should be able to take your space, be creative, bring the skills and the talent that you have to that moment. That is the moment. Those are the moments, okay, when you're in front of the camera and you're about to do your takes, you're about to do your scenes. Those are the moments that you are authorized to take and to make yours. Don't make it about you, make it about the other character, but those are the moments in which you can take ownership, because you've been authorized to take those moments in those times in that space. Now, the rest of the time, in between camera setups, if you're on set, number one tip, number one most important tip, stay out of the way. Do not get in the crew's way. If you're standing on set and you're finding yourself having to excuse yourself and, you know, move, sorry, oh, excuse me, you know, you got really hard, long day working crew members that are physically and mentally exhausting themselves, okay? They're doing their craft and their practice, but they are at it nonstop between breakfast and lunch, 30 minutes for lunch, and lunch until wrap every single day. physically and mentally pouring themselves into the process every minute, every hour, every day. As an actor, we have the luxury to step back and take a break. And yes, many times we do emotionally exhaust ourselves, more so than maybe your average crew member might do. But don't take that for granted. That's your job. That's your job. Okay. And when you mentally exhaust yourself, you may not appreciate it if an inconsiderate crew member maybe kind of steps in your way or whatever. But number one rule is stay out of the way. All right. If you have to be on the set, put your back up against the wall, stand out of the way of the doorways where nobody's going to have to walk around you or get by you. And if you're not moments away from having to do blocking or a rehearsal or something like that, get outside of the scope of the immediate set. All right. Just get out of the way. The follow-up to that, okay, this is part B of rule number 1. Always make sure somebody knows where you are. The second mistake that you can make that you may end up feeling worst about, or at least I have in my experience, is being away for minutes and not having someone have eyes on you. Somebody not knowing where you are, right? So I remember being on set one time. I can't even remember which film it was. I had gone to my car, which in this particular film, at this particular location, my car was in view of base camp. I could see the catering tent. I could see the trailers, and it's just a wide field between me and the car. However, I went to go sit down in my car, and I come out literally like 7-8 minutes later, and the second AD is huffing and puffing and breathing hard and is, to say the least, not happy with me that they didn't know where I was right at that moment, okay? When it's time for you to be called on set, the AD will call the second AD will call the PA, call one of the PAs, and they will say, when you show up on set, you check in with the production trailer, you check in with the second AD, the AD, you make sure that people know you're there on set. Get there early, don't ever be late. You never want to slow down production, okay? Always let people know where you are. If you're not on set where multiple people can all see you, or if somebody says, hey, where's Jeff? Hey, right here, right? If that's not the situation, if you have downtime, if you have a little trailer, or if you're a day player, or if you've got a more significant role, you're on set for a few days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, whatever, you'll have a trailer, you let somebody know, I'm going to be in my trailer. Okay? If you got to go to the bathroom, it's only going to take you 2 minutes. We're adults, but be considerate, not just of the time that may be taken from not knowing where you're at, okay? 10 minutes on set, if everybody, the cast, the crew, the director, the producer, if everybody's on set sitting around waiting for 10 minutes for you, they should be taking that out of your check. That's not good. Always let somebody know where you are if you're not on set, okay? Because you'll get a call from the set, the AD will call the second AD will call the PA and say, hey, who's got eyes on Jeff, right? You want that call from that PA to go, I got eyes on him right here, or he's in his trailer, let me go get him. 10, 15 seconds later, I've got eyes on Jeff, Jeff is flying in, and production is going, and they're going, all right? If you're on set and you're in between camera setups and you got to leave, go to the bathroom, whatever it is, tell somebody. Tell somebody. It's a professional courtesy. And for me, that is the minimum expectation that I require for myself to be able to communicate with a professional manager and do my job. Remember, as an actor, you are a tool in the director's toolbox. Your job is to be available mentally, physically, and emotionally, okay? But if you're not physically available for that director to pull you out of his toolbox and put you in front of the camera, that is a really big problem. So If you're on set, stay out of the way. But if you're not on set, make sure you are communicating your exact location and that you are reachable at any moment, at any time. There's some other things that I think we may go into that I might like to do in a different video, which is just kind of talking about more of the how to behave on set or how to act on set when you're actually shooting your scenes. Michael Caine has my favorite book on this. It's Michael Caine on Acting. Short book, one of the most practical that I've ever read outside of David Mamet on acting. But he talks about, you know, if you're shooting your scene and a crew member crosses your eye line and that brings you out of the moment, how to appropriately respond to that, you know. So those are some other tips for another time, but those are, for me, the most important things to do when you're on set. One of the good ways to learn this, if you're watching this video and you're thinking about getting into acting, or you're just getting started, or you know, you're looking for an agent, you haven't got on set yet, and you're looking for the tips and tricks on how to be as an actor on set, get on set any way that you can. One of the fastest, quickest, easiest ways to do that is to do some extra work, right? Do some extra work, stand back, stand where you're supposed to stand, when you're supposed to stand there, okay? Let the crew members do their work, let them do their thing, okay? And I'm not saying if you happen to find yourself in a natural conversation or you have an opening to have a conversation with a crew member to not do it, but don't let that be your first instinct, okay? Your job as an actor on set is not to pester. It's not to gab. It's not to chat. You have a job on set, and if you're not doing your job, you are constantly at risk of impeding somebody else from doing their job. And you don't want to be that person. You want to be the person helping everyone else do their job. All right. So that's all I can think of at the moment. Those are absolutely the top points that I have in terms of how to act on set when you're actually not acting. All right, guys. More questions to come. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I hope you guys are too. Stick around for more. Take care.